This is the Gate of Europe. It gazes southward from the Italian island of Lampedusa. From here, it's 300 kilometers to Libya. The artwork was created in honor of the migrants who lost their lives crossing the Mediterranean, seeking European shores. At the port, there's a graveyard for their boats. These are fishing boats from Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt. After having discharged their human cargo on the island, they are now rotting on the shores of Lampedusa. Up the road from the port, there's this house. Its owners have decorated the facade with colorful planks from ships. It's another tribute to the migrants. And here, a man has collected possessions from aboard the migrant ships. There are photos, baby bottles, and cigarettes. Giacomo Sferlazzo built up this collection over several years. He found the objects both inside the ships and on the dumping grounds of Lampedusa. He wants to help preserve the memory of those who arrived here.
We're not doing them justice by calling them migrants or, worse, illegals. They're not defined by being migrants. You see, they eat, listen to music, brush their teeth, wear perfume.
Sferlazzo believes his collection makes a political statement about Europe's policies on migration. He hopes that it will draw attention to why people make such a perilous journey.
Politicians have chosen to deal with migrants coming from a place where there's war or persecution in this way. They've never tried to regulate migrants' journeys here. It is the system that ensures that these people continue to arrive illegally.
Migrants still brave that journey, but fewer now arrive in Lampedusa. Due to the Italian Navy's operation called Mare Nostrum, the sea is ours. Sailors pick up migrants off the Libyan coast and then take them directly to the Italian mainland. But locals like Pietro Bartolo will never forget what happened here in the past, off the shores of the island.
When they started the rescue, they found very few of them were still afloat. I remember the first day, there were 111 bodies. They were lined up here along this gangway. It was truly horrifying.
On October 3rd, 2013, a ship with 500 migrants on board capsized off Lampedusa. Most were from Eritrea, but there were also Somalians and people from other African countries on board. 366 people drowned.
I had never seen anything of that magnitude, 366 dead. The scene filled me with rage. They had almost made it here. They were just 200 meters from the coast. You can imagine them gazing out at the island and thinking about arriving. But they didn't make it here, by a few meters.
The doctor has set up an art exhibition here, a year after the tragedy. The disaster was a shock for locals, and it ruined Lampedusa's reputation. For many Europeans, the island will always be associated with migrants drowning at sea. But many on the island think it's time to move on. Gian Damiano Lombardo heads Lampedusa's Hotel Association. He prefers to show visitors the other side of the Mediterranean island.
The sea is gorgeous here. It boasts every type of fish, from great white sharks to whales, dolphins and sea turtles. So this is the other side, an island with so many resources, so much potential. You could rebuild the archipelago's brand on that.
But for now, blue seas and golden sand are not enough to lure the tourists. 40% fewer are vacationing here this year. The industry blames the migrant crisis for that, even if it's now playing out far away from the cliffs of Lampedusa. These visitors aren't here for tourism. They're survivors of the disaster a year ago. They've come from Sweden and Norway, where they now live, to remember those aboard their doomed ship.
I remember all at that time, at that moment. It's bad for me. And I remember all sounds, cries, shouts.
These people's story has defined an island, and has come to symbolize Europe's migration crisis. A year on, hope and despair still mix together in the waters off Lampedusa.